Georgia is growing. Russian troops have rolled beyond Georgia's two breakaway provinces, alarming leaders around the world. Alaska is following the rapidly changing events. Ed.
Christine, the nation of Georgia being cut in half by an all-out invasion and occupation. That from its president, as our president just back from China and the Olympics, wasting no time. Mr. Bush telling the Russians to back off.
Russia has invaded a sovereign neighboring state and threatens a democratic government elected by its people. Such an action is unacceptable in the 21st century.
Georgia, firefights on the streets where the Russian military is still on the move. Russian tanks roar deep into the heart of the country, while its warplanes launch new air raids, targeting roads, buildings, and taking out several radar systems. All of this as civilians are caught up in the crossfire. And check this, even Georgia's president runs for his life. Mikhail Saakashvili in the middle of a press conference in the battle-weary town of Gori. They think there's an air raid. His security team rushes him away, even covering him up with bulletproof vests until the danger passes. This as Saakashvili signs a pledge calling for a ceasefire that now has the backing of both American presidential candidates.
There is no possible justification for these attacks. I reiterate my call for Russia to stop its bombing campaign.
Russia is using violence against Georgia, in part, to intimidate other neighbors, such as Ukraine, for choosing to associate with the West and adhering to Western political and economic values.
Now, for its part, Russia criticizing us, the U.S., for showing Georgia as the victim instead of the aggressor. The State Department very busy evacuating all Americans from Georgia, but there is growing concern tonight for the future of that country and for all of those still stuck in the crossfire. Jeff Michael with the story. He's live in Glendale. Jeff.
Yeah, Ed, you know, so many Americans right now, we're all giving ourselves a crash course in the geopolitics of Russia and Georgia, let alone those small provinces of South Ossetia and Abkhazia. And yet, when you sit down and you talk with people who are watching their homeland being bombed right here in Glendale, you really get a good, clear picture because they feel so helpless to do anything about it.
My father was up at around 5 a.m. in the morning yesterday due to the bomb dropping.
Dr. Tamara Lasheva says her parents haven't fallen victim to Russian bombs, but she worries, as does George Petrashvili, whose nephew just left the United States to go home to Georgia.
And my sister right now traveling to the border of Armenia to pick up his son, so I can't wait to talk to him tonight.
4 friends gather to tell us about their homeland in peril.
We are very tolerant and loving people. We don't fight. We don't want to kill anybody.
They say Russians based in South Ossetia have been provoking Georgia for months, prompting last week's military response by Georgia, part of a plan they believe by Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
It's just a beginning. Next will be Ukraine. They want to restore empire, evil empire.
And they say Putin invaded because the democracy of a U.S.-educated Georgian president is working.
Mr. Putin and his spooks and his low-life KGB friends, they cannot understand that. That's too much for them. It's the only way they know how to run country: intimidate, bribe, kill.
Georgians believe that after giving more than 1/5 of their army to the U.S.-led war in Iraq, the U.S., they say, just has to support their country.
Anything to stop this Lucifer, this evil, from killing my people, and what's most important, killing the hope that one day we can be free.
Those 4 friends can't emphasize enough that they believe this is only the first step for Putin in trying to recreate a Soviet Union, a change that would immediately and initially be felt by the West, beginning with oil control, natural gas control of those lines running through Georgia and the Ukraine. Reporting live in Glendale, Jeff Michael, Fox 11 News.
The SWAT team shooting leaves a family devastated.
And I told the officers, please don't kill my brother, please don't kill him, but they didn't listen to me.
A loved one is killed after barricading himself in his home, while officers say they were forced to act fast.
A scamster